It's the number one hustler. I turn a hater to a customer. It's the number one hustler. I turn a hater to a customer. Trying to get this right. I'm trying to live this life. I put in work and still be earning stripes. So it's the number one hustler. I turn a hater to a customer. Trying to get this right. I'm trying to live this life. I put in work and still be earning stripes. So
hey everyone, guess who's back? It's Kamish, back here with another team preview. This time it's Steven in US1, a guy who's been in this league since the beginning, but a guy that's never really been all that successful, obviously with the 13th place best finish. So let's just get into his draft. First round went Darren McFadden. Interesting pick here. I mean, you saw the draft grade there at the beginning. We'll just get into how horrible it gets. It starts with McFadden. I mean, the guy, might play 6 games, but you had AP, West, and then Snead and Deshaun Jackson, 2 pretty decent receivers come after. So to get a guy that's probably only going to be a starter for 6 doesn't really make much sense to me. Second round, again, interesting strategy. Decided to keep Alex Smith. You guys all saw the debacle there before the draft. And then went with Carson Palmer in the second round. I mean, you already have a quarterback. Witten, Brayton, Doyle were picked after. So, I don't know. It's just funny to me. And then third round, no pick. Fourth round, you went kicker. I mean, Stephen Gostkowski. There were some pretty good players after. Foreman, Hogan, Mike Williams, a guy that could have been a wide receiver for the future. Fifth round, no pick. Sixth round went with Tavon Austin. Jamie Collins and Landon Collins, pretty significant defensive players picked after. Seventh round went with Ziggy Ansah, who is in a contract year. Eighth round, Eric Swoop. Ninth round, Steelers defense. 10th round, Aguilar. So I guess the latter part of the first 10 rounds weren't as bad. But those first 3 picks going with backup running back, QB when you already had one, and then a kicker, that's why you got the draft grade of an F, Steven. Getting into the positional, where he's at with each position, he's got Palmer and Smith, which I just talked about. Also decided to draft Ryan Tannehill even after the knee injury. I guess thinking maybe a keeper for next year to me. Just reminds me of another Blake Bortles. Looking at running back, McFadden, which we talked about, Langford. He did keep Rawls. He got him from me in a trade. Jones, Spiller, Cadet, not the running back group you probably want to be successful. Wide receiver, Tavon Austin, Stills, Tyreek Hill, who I think is going to be a good one. Brian Quick, not sure where he stands, Hardy, and Nelson Aguilar. And then a tight end, Jimmy Graham, which was one of his keepers, and Eric Swoop. Kicker, you got Gostkowski, and then Jason Myers, who's probably going to lose his job. Defense, you got the Steelers and the Cowboys, so, Steelers will probably be pretty good. DL, not so bad with Kawan Short and Ansah. Linebacker, not so great, though. Michael Wilhoit, Compton, Preston Brown, Woodyard, Ray, and Lemur. So not the linebacker group that I would want. And then at DB, again, you got McDougald, who's really just a backup to Earl Thomas. I guess Marcus Peters will be okay, Quinn and DRC. But, really what it all adds up to for you, Steven, is I think, I got to be honest with you, it was tough for me to see you on the draft board. Not really making much sense to the rest of us. Don't get me wrong, buddy. I've appreciated why you're in this league. I love you having you as an owner. But I guess the commission just really wanted to see more from you this year in the draft. You know, this is your 4th year in. You know, you should know how to draft by now, right? So for Steven, you know, looking at the win-loss record, basically it's going to look like this. You know, week 1 against Milan in the 6th. Milan, you're not going to like this one. Got Steven in a win in this one. For whatever reason, I just think Steven has the better matchups. It's going to work out for him. And then after that, week 2, obviously, against Ryan and Deuce Bombers. Got a loss for Steven there. And then week 3 against new owner Glenn and Saving Matt's Ryan. Got a loss for Steven in that one. And then week 4 against divisional rival John and my ball Zach Ertz. I got a loss for Steven in that one. So 1-3 to start the year. Would it get any better against divisional rival Robert and Templars? No, it wouldn't. Another loss there. And then taking on Krista and Storm, another original owner. Got another loss for Steven in that one. And then taking on George and Pack Attack, another divisional rival. Another loss for Steven in that one. And then taking on Susan Fighting Geese, another original owner. And another loss for Steven. So after winning one, Steven, I foresee going 7 straight losses to go 1-7. And then in week 9, taking on new owner Brandon and Wolves. Brandon and Wolves gets the better of Steven in that one. And then the last divisional opponent, Sean and Drink AJOJ. Another loss for Steven in this one. And then against Chris and True North. Unfortunately, another loss for Steven in this one. And then against second-year owner Danny and Billsy Bob Tim Horton, I got a loss for Steven in that one. So, unfortunately for Steven, I don't see it going very well for him. This is what I foresee, a 1-11 start. Obviously, we know George isn't going to be back, as well as the Gwevin, the state-controlled team. Basically, where I see it right now with Steven, I do see him as the 3rd team falling down to Tier 2. You know, that's tough for me to say because Steven is an original owner. But at the same time, just difficulties at the draft and unfortunately lack of preparation, Steven, I think is going to get you down there. And it's just like anything else, man. You just got to put in the work and you'll be successful. But anyways, hopefully it doesn't turn out this way, and best of luck for the season.